Welcome everyone, Farmer Cop here. This is going to be a guide to how to use the new Barrel Factory as part of the Farming Simulator 22 Platinum expansion. If you haven't ordered or purchased the Platinum expansion yet, down below in the description there will be a link to be able to purchase that. Make sure you use code FarmerCop at checkout or use that link down below. It does go to support the channel at no extra cost to you. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into how to use the Barrel Factory. So this is a new essentially base game production now, since it's been added into the game. If you have the Platinum edition of the game or the Platinum expansion, you do require that to be able to use this. But if we're going to go ahead and take a look here, we're on Silver Run map right now. Silver Run map. So this is the map here. This is all of it all through here. Right down here, this is where the Barrel Factory is located on the map. So this one is built into the map. You can use this one if you'd like to, or if we go into our build mode here and we go under production points, and we scroll right over to here, $120,000, you can purchase your own and put it wherever you'd like. And again, you can see down here, the inputs are metal and long boards, and the outputs are barrels, buckets, and bathtubs. So we'll take a look at that as we go through and talk about how to make all those. But here we go. We're going to use just the one that's built into this map. It works the same exact as the one you'd use normally, except you're going to have to walk up to this wrench to go ahead and purchase it. So if I walk up here, up in the upper left-hand corner, you can see on the help menu there, it says R to purchase production point. So I hit it. It's $120,000 to buy, just the same as the production or the construction cost. So there we go. I purchased it, which is good. Now, if you notice, I come up here, I can't sell it up here. I can just hit R to manage it, and it'll pull me into this menu, which we're going to talk about in a second. If you do want to sell it, you can go in here and you can click it, and you can sell it right here. Just be aware that you aren't going to be able to put another one down there, because you can see you can't buy the land here. So once you get rid of it, you get rid of it. It's gone for good. You're not going to be able to use this anymore on this map. But that's a whole different story in terms of that. So basically the way productions work just in general is you're going to provide the appropriate inputs and you're going to get the appropriate outputs. So again, if we either go up here and hit R to access it using that little wrench menu there, or if we go into our menu and we scroll down here to this little icon, that's our production icon, it's going to show all of our production chains, which we only own one right now, which is our Barrel Factory here. And you can see we can produce barrels, buckets, and bathtubs in here. So down here at the very bottom, it says red right here. They're all activated right now. I'm going to go ahead and just deactivate them all, so you can see we can deactivate or activate them. So let's say I want it barrels active. I can activate or deactivate however I want to do it right there. Then if we move over to the center screen right here, we're on barrels right now. The first thing here is going to say status is inactive. So right now it's not running, which means it's inactive. If I go to activate, it's running until it says notice that it doesn't have any materials. And then it's going to say materials needed in a second. Right there, materials missing, but we're going to leave it off for now. Then cycles per month. So this is 24 cycles per month. So what that means is this recipe down here, which we'll talk about in a second, it's going to happen 24 times per month. So if you're playing with seasons on and you have it set to 3 days per month, it's going to do this 24 times every 3 days. If you have it to 6 days per month, it's going to do this 24 times every 6 days, and so on and so forth. If you have it set to 1 day per month, it's going to do this every day. Production cost per month, so however many days are in a month, it doesn't matter, but every month it's going to bill you $48 to run this production chain, so just be aware of that. Not a very big fee, to be honest. It's not going to really be something you're really going to notice. Now this recipe down here, the inputs here, you need to put 50 liters of long boards in, plus 25 liters of metal to get the barrels here. Now, if you don't know how to make planks long, right now a card's going to pop up on your screen. That's going to take you to a video on how to use the new sawmill in the Platinum expansion, and that'll talk about how to get planks long there. And then if you don't know how to get metal, which is the other input here, a card will pop up on your screen right now. And if you go ahead and follow that card, that will show you how to be able to get a hold of some metal. So make sure you guys check those out if you need to. That's going to take you to those guys right there. Now, if we go back into talking about how to use the production chain here, our recipe down here, 50 liters plus 25 liters, can give us 340 effective liters of barrels. So that's what's basically going to happen. Now, why is it in liters or units? Now, it does say units on some of them, but it's basically liters in quotations for how it's going to work for the game. That's just because they need standard units of measurement to be able to kind of translate in terms of selling and everything like that. So this is something to be aware of. It's not really a big deal here. Now, outgoing products and incoming materials over here, we can see incoming materials, planks long, and metal. So this is where it's going to show you how many liters, you can see it's in liters there, how many liters of planks long and metal you have inside of your production facility at one time. Now, for every single one of these productions, we have barrels here. Then we go down to buckets, 48 cycles per month, and then the recipe is a little bit different because we're making buckets. Then bathtubs, they'll require the same materials. It's just different ratios of materials to make different outcomes here. And this is again a 60 cycles per month to make those bathtubs, 48 and 24 cycles. So they're just different. But these two incoming materials, all three of these categories will have access to those and be able to use those to make the materials needed. Now, outgoing materials, we have barrels, buckets, and bathtubs. So one thing we need to talk about here, As you'll see here, this is how many liters are currently inside the building. Now it's currently set to storing on each of these. There's 3 different modes. If it's set to storing, it's going to produce pallets as it can until it runs out of space to produce pallets. And I'll show you where the pallets are going to spawn in a minute. Then if I go down here to change output mode, if I change it to selling, it's going to automatically sell the barrels that are produced, or buckets or bathtubs, depending on what you have it set to selling at. And it's going to cost you a little bit extra. Usually it's about 40% or so, and it can kind of vary depending on your economic difficulty and stuff like that. But it's going to charge you a pretty good fee, quite honestly, in order to be able to sell it for you. So I don't recommend doing that if you can avoid it. And the last one is distributing. So what distributing is going to do is it's going to move them to the next part of the production chain. So what that means is if there's some other production chain out there that requires barrels, this will move them to that production chain. Now, I haven't tested to see if it will actually move different items to either the roller coaster project or the boat yard project. So I'm not sure if it will move those along to those. But for now, we're just going to leave everything at storing, and then we're going to put some materials in. So I did say that pallets would spawn. This is where they're going to spawn, is on this little icon back here. So this little area right here, they're going to spawn back there. And again, we know this is how you access the production building here. This little dump icon is where we're going to put materials in. Now I do have some metal over here and some planks along over here. Now I can lift these by hand because I have super strength on right now, which is another mod, which is in our story to talk about that. But you'll normally need to use a forklift to move these around. But if I get these forklifted or moved onto this, you can see they disappear and go right in there. So we're just going to put few of these pallets in here just so we have some materials in there. 3 pallets of those. We'll put 3 pallets of the metal in here just so we have some metal to use. Each one of these pallets should have 1,000, well, it says 1,000 pieces, but it's going to equivalent to 1,000 liters. So we go in here, 3,000 and 3,000. The capacity is not very much for these materials in here. Again, if we put just a few more of some of these items in here, it's actually probably going to max it out. And if I just put 3 more chunks of metal in there, it's probably going to max it out, quite honestly, as well. So if we get these guys just over here, it's probably going to max it out there. We'll move this guy over here as well, just to kind of see what happens. I think that metal is looking, yep, metal's maxed out at 5,000 planks long. It still can definitely do some more of those if we have them. This one's stuck in the ground, so I'm not going to worry about that. Actually, we might be able to just move it. Now it's going to be too much. Oh, maybe not. Might be not too much work to get it over towards the, there we go, get it in there just so it's out of the way. But yeah, these ones you can see they have a little bit of metal left in each of them, but there we go. We got quite a bit of materials in here, definitely more than enough to make these items. We're going to go ahead and activate each one of these, so they're all going to start running. You can see they're running right there. And then we're going to go around to the back side here, and we're going to fast forward a little bit of time to see what we have kind of spawning out. We fast forward some time. I just want to get 1 pallet of each, so we'll just fast forward until we get a pallet to spawn here of each item. There we go. We got a couple of things going on. So it looks like we have ourselves a pallet of barrels. We also have a pallet of, yeah, buckets and barrels. Yeah, there we go. So we're going to go in here. We're going to turn off those just so we don't get any more coming out. And then the bathtub should be out shortly here. Just fast for a little bit more time. There we go. Bathtub pallet of those come out. What I'm going to do real quick is just deactivate that. And let's get us over just into the daytime just so we can see a little bit better what's going on around us. So there we go. Just so we can actually see what's going on. So as you can see here, we have a pallet of each item. So you can take these, and again, you're going to have to use a forklift. I can use super strength to move them right now, but you're normally going to have to use a forklift. I have 1,000 liters of barrels here, 1,000 liters of buckets, and 1,000 liters of bathtubs. So these are how you're going to sell them, is just in this form here. Now, if you're wondering how you're going to sell them, all you need to do is take them to a sell point, and they will automatically sell from there. If you're wondering where you can sell them, go right here to this icon, and we'll scroll down to the very bottom, take a look here. If we find ourselves, there we go, we have the barrel, so you can see different areas where it's going to be sold at. So I can go ahead and tag it if I'm curious where it's going to be at and everything like that to see where it's at. Bathtub, same thing there, and then bucket, same thing there, and you're just going to take them to the sell point. But there you go. That is how you're going to use the new barrel factory in the Farming Simulator 22 Platinum expansion. If you guys enjoyed this video, please drop a like down below. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button up on the screen to join the Farmer Cop channel and turn your notification bell so you don't miss any future videos I may post. This has been Farmer Cop. Thank you guys for coming and for watching.